All right, so we're here with Lars Murray, who is Senior Director of Digital Marketing for Columbia Records. Columbia Music, right?
Sure. Columbia Records.
In the old days, it was called Columbia Records. Is it still?
It's still called Columbia Records, but I think you may be getting a little ahead of the name of the company, but I think that the essence of what we're doing is getting closer to music as a whole. Yeah.
So, what are you here at South by Southwest for? You're doing both music and interactive.
I'm doing music and interactive. I'm here mostly for interactive this year. Usually I have a lot of artists here. This year the cycles are such that I don't have as many artists, so I'm here to I'm here to sort of try and get a jump start on anything new that might be coming out of the interactive conference. And over the last few years, I feel like I've missed out on some things in the interactive that I should have been in on. And there are a lot of music and interactive networks have kind of diverged over the last 7 or 8 years, whereas music used to be part of everybody's interactive plan. Now, as things have kind of solidified, and people's business models have gotten a little more normalized, people aren't thinking outside of the box as much on both sides, and I'm trying to break through that a little bit.
And it's almost forced the music industry to reinvent themselves. And now it seems, from my perspective, that licensing and music as a marketing tool has become, well, first a powerful marketing tool for brands, but a new revenue stream for your industry.
It's got to be both, and it is both. And that's one of the keys for us is to try. We're still trying to get our developing artists, and that's what I concentrate on. I'm trying to get my developing artists out in front of as many people as possible. If you talk about a band like an AC/DC or something like that, that's going to be a revenue stream first and foremost. And but on the developing artist thing, we're always looking for new creative things that we can do with people, and we want to derive as much licensing revenue as we can always, but we can be a little more flexible with the developing artists.
So, for a brand like Pepsi, that's probably pretty easy. They've got Mondo ad agencies and all of the connections that they need to talk to somebody like Columbia and maybe hook something up with AC/DC. What about a smaller independent brand? Not a mom and pop shop, but like a medium-sized a brand, like a smaller beverage brand. Is it possible for a brand like that to partner with a label?
Absolutely, and in fact, there's dealing with the major corporation that we are, but there's also dealing individually with the acts and with the people we actually have strategic marketing people they can talk to, but also talking to the product managers, talking to the digital marketing people, and having multiple points of contact, because you never know where that eureka idea is going to come from. We all try to work together, but there's no rule as to where it comes in. It could come in from an A&R person who's a talent scout. It could come in from me, who's in charge of running websites and online promotions and digital promotions in general, or it could come from a product manager. It could come from somebody just knowing anybody. So if you're a small brand, you shouldn't hesitate to approach labels, because we're always looking for a good idea, and we're always looking to leverage what we've got and help you guys leverage what you've got. So.
What kinds of new things are you doing, or what kinds of new tools are you using that you're finding really effective?
I have to say the most exciting stuff that we've done this year is combine sort of mobile, and not necessarily all mobile, but location-based, location-specific things with the digital side, and it could be anything from, I think there's been a big breakthrough. Webcasting was always kind of boring and expensive and something we didn't want to do. You tie it in with chats and location-based stuff, it starts to get really interesting. The fans start to go crazy, and you start to actually see some real lift. Anything that we do location-based, and scavenger hunts and things like that we've been theorizing for years and years and years, are very difficult to work with mobile carriers. Now that you've got Twitter and Facebook, you're able to do that stuff. That gets the fans really excited. The narrow end of the funnel, we've been able, the marketing funnel, if that's, where you've actually got them, we've been able to do a lot of that stuff. And our challenge is always finding the wide end of the funnel, which is getting our distribution out there. And that's where we can work with other brands to sort of get outside of our box. We've got a really, really good handle, unlike maybe 5 years ago, on music fans. Now we've got to try and, make the tent a little bigger.
Got any artists or bands that you want to plug?
Yeah, actually, strangely enough, I do. We've got some very interesting releases coming up and just out. We've got a band called Go Go Bordello that some people might be familiar with. It's a gypsy punk explosion, and kind of hard to describe, except that they've probably put on about the best live show that you can imagine. And pretty amazing. I think we're going to have a record from Band of Horses, who we just signed, and that's coming out, I think, in May. I've got Coheed and Cambria, which is everybody's favorite progressive rock band, coming out with a record on April 13th, and we've got all kinds of interesting stuff. The package actually has a novel package with it, a 350-page novel with CD, and we actually did something pretty cool with them. We have what we call the Black Card, which is people who buy the deluxe get actually this card, which gets them early entry to general admission shows and extra discounts on merch and things like that. So we've been doing some interesting stuff. And then also on the label, I think we've got a great record right now from Temper Trap, which is moving up the charts. And did I mention Broken Bells this time? Broken Bells, Danger Mouse and James Mercer, great record. And there's a lot more, and probably the people who are watching this from my company will kill me for not mentioning their projects.
All right, well, awesome. Thanks. Lars Murray on Bran Flakes for breakfast.